Good morning, girls and boys and children of all ages. As you can see, we are at the Vacation Bible School campsite. It's called Compassion Camp. And VBS will start July 15th and run for 5 weeks. And this is going to be where the campsite will be. And we're going to be talking about being loved, being kind, and being ourselves. And these are great themes. And what we're going to talk about this morning is what brings us joy, what makes us happy, what fills us up. And I want you to think about that at home and talk about that amongst yourselves, and then why we do that, why that's important to do that. So let's start with Sarah this morning. And Sarah, you tell us what fills you up, what brings you joy.
I like animals and bacon because animals are really cute and they deserve much more respect than they do. And bacon is just the best breakfast food, in my opinion, because it's just really tasty.
Loving the bacon.
You can tell from that smile on your face that it brings you joy.
Yeah, it's really
That's great. Bodhi, tell us what brings you joy. What do you love doing?
I like to eat hard-boiled eggs and go on bike rides.
Hard-boiled eggs on bike rides. That's great. Do you ever take a hard-boiled egg on your bike ride with you? No. Okay, so those are two separate activities.
Yeah.
And you like animals too, don't you, Bodhi? You do. What are your cats' names?
Minnie and Crosby.
You bet.
What do you like to do with them?
Give them pats. Pick them up.
Yeah.
Wrap them in blankets, make them look like a burrito.
I mean, that defines them.
Yeah.
A burrito.
Yeah. And that makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what about these trees out here? Did you ever climb one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you good at that?
Yeah.
You like doing that?
Mm-hmm.
You bet you do. Kimmy, what brings you joy?
What brings me joy? A few of my favorite things that fill me up and bring me joy. Sometimes I just like to get in my car and go for a ride and listen to music and look at the beauty around me, and also put on a song that makes me sing and brings back memories that make me happy, and it really tunes me in, both by just singing. It feels really good to sing, and even if it's also just like a hymn from church or something, it really feels good to me physically and emotionally, and is soothing, just like being in my backyard and listening to the breeze and the leaves in the breeze, and also when we sit around our fire pit and as a family or even just by myself looking at the fire and the flames. It makes me feel God's presence, and especially in these times when there's a lot of intense stuff going on these days, and it feels pretty draining, and I feel like I need to refuel, and some of those things really just fill me up in a way that makes me feel more present with the things that matter most, and thus make me more able to be compassionate to the other people around me in my community, and to even the furry family members all around. And it just, the joy, the self-care helps me better for others.
Yeah. That makes really good sense to me. It really does. I think about one of the themes of Vacation Bible School will be about the Great Commandment and how Jesus said to love God with all of our heart and strength and mind and soul, and to love our neighbors as ourselves. And I think that as ourselves part is something we don't think about all the time, and I think it's really important. I think Jesus modeled that for us when Jesus went out into the wilderness. I think there had to be times when Jesus was tired, when Jesus just needed to get away. We've probably all felt like that. A lot of stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of people needed him, and he needed to go into the wilderness and spend some time just by himself, just for himself, with God. It was time to reconnect with God and reconnect to the God energy around us. And I think that's what we do when we fill ourselves up and give ourselves time for joy. So we need to all practice that. And I remember even as a young person like you guys, I went to the First Presbyterian Church Camp of Ligonier, and it was great. I loved church camp. And because I like to think about scriptures, and I knew the scriptures when I was little, we had a t-shirt that I found myself questioning. because I always ask questions, and thank goodness my parents gave me permission to do a lot of questioning. My t-shirt had J-O-Y on it, joy, which is great. I was told that it stood for Jesus, others, and yourself. So Jesus comes first, others come second, and yourself is sort of last. And I remember being a little girl thinking, how does that fit with love God first and then others and yourself the same? So I remember saying to my parents, shouldn't we have a t-shirt that had a J and then sort of the O-Y were together on the same place on the t-shirt? And I sort of remember my mom and dad going, oh boy. Sure, we'll look into a t-shirt. I thought it was a darn good question. And apparently Jesus did too, because he said, love your neighbors as yourself. So let's be thinking about that as we go through this week and all the weeks to come. How can we love God and love our neighbors and also take really good care of ourselves and fill ourselves up so that we can be the very, very best people that God wants us to be. Right, guys? Right. Okay, great. All right, we love you all. Have a happy day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.